There's no doubt that Indian economy has a very bright future in the next 10-20 years. And I'm sure we all would agree that the best option for wealth creation is investment in Indian economy. However, the moment we take the decision to invest our money, it gets very confusing. The biggest dilemma is it the right time to invest the money in Indian market? What if I invest and the markets start falling? On the contrary, what if I don't invest and markets start rising? The next question is, there are many options for investment including stocks, mutual fund, bond, gold, etc. How to build a right investment portfolio? That is, how much you should invest in each asset class. Moreover, sometimes equity outperform other asset classes, sometimes bond perform well, and sometimes gold outperform other asset classes. So how to rebalance the portfolio periodically as per market condition? Then another common question is when to book profit and exit. Now if you are a high net worth individual, you can hire a professional team and pay them to do all that for you. They will help you build a nice balanced portfolio and rebalance it periodically, and also periodically book profits to help you beat the market. But if you are a normal retail investor who cannot afford such high fee, then unfortunately you don't have any option. Hold on, there is an interesting product from etmoney that helps retail investors like you and me to build a right portfolio as per your individual risk profile and financial goal. In fact, it even rebalances the portfolio on a monthly basis based on market situation. The product name is etmoney Genius. Hey everyone, in the past few months, I have received multiple requests to review a service from etmoney called etmoney Genius. And when I had a look at this product, I found it very interesting. So it's been 3-4 months since I'm using this product and I found it very impressive. Hence, I thought of reviewing it as some of you might find it useful. But before I review the product, let me set the context first. What common problem etmoney Genius is actually trying to solve? So as an investor, we all would come across 3 major problems. First problem is selecting the best stock and mutual funds for investment. Now there are thousands of stocks, bonds and mutual funds and gold investment products in the market. The biggest question is how to select the best stock and mutual fund. Majority of people make the mistake of selecting stock and mutual fund based on last 1, 3 or 5 year period. But majority of top funds end up underperforming than the benchmark. Hence, investor gets frustrated with the underperformance and end up selling it and start hunting another set of new funds and stocks that are in limelight. In this entire process, investor return is even lower than the market return. Now there could be a case where some active mutual fund outperform the index, but the challenge is figuring out which active fund will outperform and which one won't. Data suggests in last decade, no active mid-cap fund has stayed among the top 5 spot for 3 consecutive years. So you will never know when your fund will lose its edge. The top 5 funds in small cap category from 2017 have been changing year on year. Hardly any fund has stayed in the top 5 for 3 consecutive years. Hence, you may keep facing the dilemma of switching fund if your scheme underperforms. As a result, now many people are shifting from active mutual funds to index funds. While index funds are great, they only deliver market returns. Plus, when the market falls, they also fall as much as market. So how does etmoney Genius solve this problem? Well, it uses time-tested asset allocation strategies in a way that you no longer need to chase best fund or stock to earn great returns. I'll explain the details later in the video. Then second problem is lack of understanding to build a diversified portfolio. Every asset class performed differently in various market situations. For example, 2021 was the year of equity. So if you had high allocation in equity in 2021, you would have made great profits. But 2022 saw a sharp dip in equity. In that case, if you had higher exposure in debt fund, then your portfolio would have fallen less. Likewise, in FY20, gold outperformed other asset classes. So it is very important to build a diversified portfolio with right allocation in equity, debt and gold. Moreover, every person has a different risk profile and financial goal. So what mix work for me doesn't necessarily work for you. Hence, it is very important to build a right portfolio that is right for you. But majority of people lack the understanding of building a balanced portfolio. Then third problem is confusion about when to buy and sell. The biggest dilemma for an investor is when to buy and when to sell. If we consider the current situation, there is an uncertainty in global markets. US and Europe are expecting recession by next year. However, Indian markets are looking strong. Now in such situation, the question is Is it the right time to invest in Indian stock market? Or should you wait? Because the question is, what if you invest today and market fall another 20%? At the same time, what if you don't invest and market touches a new high? Hence, exit and entry is a big question in the market. And these are the problems etmoney Genius is trying to solve. So what exactly is etmoney Genius? It is a product that is built on a proprietary algorithm that helps you proactively and dynamically allocate the investment across different asset classes like Indian equity, international equities, gold and debt. The allocations are decided after computing the relative impact of various influencing factors like your risk profile, financial goals, then market situation like your interest rate in the economy, inflation, equity valuation and other market trends. Okay, let me share my experience with the app so far. So first of all, when you start the app, it would ask you to answer some questions. These questions are very important because it would help in understanding your investment personality and your approach to investing. Because sometimes you might think that you have high risk appetite, but in reality when the portfolio falls 20%, you could panic. Likewise, you might want to take high risk to generate high return, but your financial condition, including your earnings, spendings, liabilities, doesn't support your high risk approach. etmoney Genius help in getting that clear understanding of the risk profile. For example, it asks questions like, imagine you are a contestant in a game show and you have two choices and you have to pick one. So choice 1 is 50% chance of winning 15 gold coins and choice 2 is 100% chance of winning 8 gold coins. Then another question is, suppose you could replace your current investment portfolio with a new portfolio that has 50% chance of gaining 35% and 50% chance of loss. In order to have a 50% chance of gaining 35%, how much loss are you willing to take? Now, based on the responses, etmoney Genius would generate a risk score range and would suggest your investment personality, like whether you are a strategizer, adventurer, etc. For example, in my case, my risk score is between 46 to 66 and it said I'm a strategizer. Now, based on your risk score, it shows different asset allocation strategy based portfolio for different time horizon. So there are total 6 of these: high growth, growth, balanced plus, balanced, stable and shield. These strategic portfolios comprises allocation in Indian equity, international equity, gold and debt in different proportion. For example, in my case, since my investment goal is my child education, so I have selected 8 to 13 year horizon, and based on my risk score and investment goal, etmoney Genius has recommended a growth portfolio. Once you select any portfolio, Genius offers two ways to execute every investment strategy. First is mutual fund and second is stocks plus ETF. If we select mutual funds, our money would be invested in low cost index funds including both equity and debt. For example, in my case, the day I invested, the best asset allocation on the market condition was 68.8% in equity, and within that 35.8% in large cap, 17.9% in mid cap, 15% in small cap and 31.3% in debt. This asset allocation changes based on market dynamics and your portfolio will be rebalanced monthly to reflect the prescribed asset allocation. As far as this portfolio performance is concerned, Genius provides all data points in comparison with benchmark. For example, since inception, this growth portfolio has generated 15.2% CAGR return against 12.8% return of benchmark. Likewise, you can compare return for last 10-year period, 7-year, 5-year and likewise. By the way, here the benchmark is the category average of active large cap funds. So they're actually comparing the results with category average of active mutual fund. You can also change the benchmark and compare returns against other benchmarks like your Nifty 500, Nifty 50 and so on. In fact, you can even compare Genius portfolio return against active schemes like Parag Parikh FlexiCap Fund and so on. I really like the way they have shown the comparative returns against various benchmarks. It also shows rolling return between 1 year to 15-year period. This rolling return is the best measure of consistency and likelihood of returns. For example, it is showing 14.6% rolling return on 8 year. It means you can pick any 8-year period across the portfolio's life, 14.6%. It also removes the bias of any one period that may inflate portfolio performance. It says that on an average, this portfolio is like 14.6% annual return consistently across short, medium and long term. In fact, you can also see calendar year return and portfolio performance against benchmark for each calendar year starting 2022 all the way till 2006. Then it also suggests total risk against benchmark, against time frame as well as past performance. Currently, there are 3 fund houses etmoney Genius has tied up with: ICICI Prudential, Nippon India, and Aditya Birla Fund House. Although since Genius portfolio include index funds, the AMC doesn't matter because we are not betting on the fund manager. We are using asset allocation strategy based portfolio. Although etmoney Genius is planning to have few more fund houses in the near future. Now if we select second option of stock plus ETF, then our money would be invested in direct stock and ETF of gold, debt and equity. Genius has tied up with all the top stock brokers of India. So our investment would be in our Demat account. In my case, it suggested 68.7% in equity, and within that, the stock recommendation included names like Westlife Development, City Union Bank, Insecticides India, Apollo Tyres, DCB Bank, Varun Beverage, etc. And debt portfolio allocation was 31.3%, that included Nippon India ETF 5-year Gilt Fund. Then you can see the portfolio performance against benchmark. For example, in growth portfolio, the returns are 17.9% CAGR since inception against benchmark return of 12.8% CAGR. And this portfolio is also better risk adjusted. For example, during COVID pandemic, this portfolio tanked 15% against the benchmark of 35.9%. So there is a very good downward risk protection. As an investor, we have to decide which option is better for us. In my case, I have opted for mutual fund option within growth portfolio. Now, if you are someone who has a shorter time duration for investment, then you can't take too much risk with equity exposure. For example, in my case, when I opted for investment duration of 2 years, then etmoney Genius recommended Shield portfolio. Within this, if you select mutual fund option, it would give you a breakup of equity and debt. In my case, since my investment duration was shorter, it suggested 85% allocation in debt and 15% in equity. And when I opted for stock plus ETF option, the allocation percentage would be same, but here within equity it would suggest individual stocks like it included Cipla, ICICI Bank, Airtel, SBI Life Insurance, Mahindra & Mahindra, etc. In terms of return, it is showing a return of 9.2% against benchmark return of 7.9% since inception. You can also see the return for each period, and it is showing a risk of 3.5% against benchmark risk of 4%. Now once you click on invest now, Genius would ask for your investment horizon and investment goal. Please note that this investment duration doesn't mean that your money is locked for that period. You can redeem your investment anytime. Finally, when you click on continue, then if you have selected mutual fund route, it would ask to select one of the fund house with whom you would like to invest. And then you can enter the investment amount and can even set up a monthly SIP. Once you enter the amount and click on continue to view schemes, it would show an entire breakup of your investment. For example, when I selected 10,000 rupee of SIP, it was showing 31.29% in short term, 17.9% in Nifty Index Fund, 17.9% in Junior Bs, FNO, and likewise some allocation in Small Cap 250 Index and Mid Cap 150 Index. This is for mutual fund. When you select stock plus ETF, it would show allocation accordingly. And then Genius would also rebalance your portfolio periodically. If you recall, Genius asked to select investment horizon and goal, so that Genius can review the asset allocation in your portfolio and show you a glide path. For example, in my case, I selected investment horizon of 13 years and my investment goal of child education. You can even create your own goal. Now, based on investment horizon and investment goal, Genius has created a portfolio rebalancing plan for me. So it is recommending a growth portfolio before May 29 because during the initial year, I would be able to take greater risk and can expect higher returns. As I reach near my goal, Genius would automatically shift my asset allocation to more portfolios with lower exposure in equity so that my risk would reduce. So next it would shift my asset allocation to balance plus portfolio and then balance and then stable, and as I reach near my goal, it is recommending a shield portfolio. So you don't have to worry about portfolio rebalancing as you reach near your goal. Genius would automatically rebalance the asset allocation for you. And it is just not yearly thing. Genius would continuously optimize the portfolio on a monthly basis based on market condition to keep the risk low and earn better return. For example, based on my investment horizon and investment goal, Genius recommended 66.5% in equity and 33.5% in debt. Then after a month, it notified me saying that my rebalancing is due today. And based on current market situation and trend, it has shown an optimum asset allocation with 67.13% in debt and 32.87% in equity. So this recommendation would be automatic on a monthly basis based on market condition. I hope now you got a good understanding of ETmoney Genius. First, it identifies your risk profile, investment goal and duration and accordingly recommend a portfolio. This portfolio gets rebalanced periodically as per market condition. Moreover, Genius also create a portfolio rebalancing plan as per your financial goal and investment duration. Of course, it's been just 3-4 months since I'm using it, so it's too early to check my returns. But overall, I think Genius is solving a major problem of portfolio building and rebalancing. So far we discussed all the positives, but there is one drawback of Genius that you should be aware of. It's taxation part. Since Genius rebalances the portfolio on a monthly basis, the profit booked from rebalancing is taxable. In case of equity, it's 15% flat tax on profit, and in debt fund, it's based on your income tax slab. Although even if you hold your stock for more than 1 year, you anyways have to pay 10% tax, of course, on profits above 1 lakh rupee. So more or less, there's a difference of 5% additional tax in case of equity with ETmoney Genius. However, as long as Genius is beating the benchmark, the additional tax won't hurt. Finally, the pricing part. There's a flat fee of $249 per month, which is billed quarterly. This flat pricing is amazing, so you can buy as many portfolios as you want and invest for as many goals as you want. And no matter how big your portfolio grows, you will still pay the same price. And since it has flat pricing structure, there are no hidden charges and no commission, and there's no incentive for Genius to get more transactions or get more investment amount. So that is aligned with investors' interest. I would strongly recommend exploring it. So in this video, we reviewed ETmoney Genius. A few years ago, it was not possible for normal retail investors like us to get a personalized advice at nominal cost in terms of building the right portfolio and rebalancing it as per the risk profile as well as market condition, and take the decision to enter and exit from the market. However, thanks to technology, today we have options like ETmoney Genius that is trying to solve a big problem of every retail investor by building a diversified portfolio as per our risk profile and rebalancing it as per the market condition. Although it would take time to build trust. So I would recommend fill their risk assessment questionnaire and identify your risk score and then try this product yourself for a few months. And finally take a call if you find it useful or not. By the way, I really liked one particular line on Genius. It says, ETmoney Genius is not a self-driving car. At the end of the day, you have to drive your investment. However, ETmoney Genius is like a GPS that provides you the right direction to achieve your financial goal. I'll continue to use this app and will share my experience in the future as well. I hope you will find this review useful. If you want to explore the app, I provided the link in the description. And if you find this video useful, do share it with your friends. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care.